what this space series is all about. And I guess today is also, like, again, pretty sad day in the world with the war between Russia and Ukraine. So I hope we'll still be able to keep the conversation here today on point, but it's, I think, impossible to talk about, I guess, crypto and working in this industry, not to talk about world affairs, because I guess, and I strongly believe that, working in this industry is a lot about bringing balance to the world and not letting bad forces overtake and excessive power. I remember when you guys, we jumped on us on a call. I think one of your teammates, I think it was John Chong, he was asking me this question about how the situation might affect crypto and work in this industry. So maybe we'll touch on this topic as well a little bit, if you guys are open to it. Provide some commentary and importance of crypto in this context. But yeah, back to the normal part of it. Like every week, we do interviews with companies in crypto space who are hiring and who's been building in the space, and we ask them questions around culture, around how do they hire so far, how are they hiring right now, how they operate. And yeah, today we have a DX. It used to be called DX Sale. I guess you guys are rebranding right now. And I think the interesting part about you guys is that in addition to being like a IDO launchpad on BSC, on Binance Smart Chain, and I guess on a few other chains, you're also a full Anon team. And I think over the past several weeks, we had a lot of questions from the community about Anons in the space and what it's like to be an Anon, and like how to go about getting a job, etc. So we'll be covering, or I'm looking forward to covering all these questions with you guys, and really excited. So we have Hash. I think Lewis tried joining and I think he dropped out again. But yeah, Hash, please welcome to the community. Thanks for joining. Could you please intro yourself and the team and the project? How did you guys get started? Your current team size?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Ramin, and hello everyone. Wherever you are from the world. Like you said, it is a very tragic day. But let me give you guys a brief about ourselves. We are a project that launched in 2019, and we are a bunch of software engineers who are very passionate about cryptocurrency and what benefits it can provide, just on a global scale. And we basically started off by building out a decentralized launchpad that solves the problem of scams. When we started, we did this by utilizing smart contracts to automatically create liquidity and basically providing that liquidity automatically to a decentralized exchange, which created a seamless process and basically provided a high user experience for anyone who's looking to start in crypto. So our application basically made it very easy to create your own token and launch your own token on our IDO without any coding required. You just have to fill out a form. So we made it very easy, and because of that, we got a lot of success through that. And it's been almost 2 years now, and we're expanding, and this is why we utilize one of the best places to hire, or find the best talents is Crypto Job List. So yeah, that's where we are in our stages at the moment. Robin, I'll let you ask more questions about that.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for your kind words about Crypto Job List. But yeah, and congrats on the current success. So yeah, just wanted to clarify, the people able to basically just log in with their MetaMask, launch, and is it ERC20 that you guys helping people launch, or is it?
Yeah,
Is it BS?
we support over 11 blockchains. We're like a tech first minded group. We have support for Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, AVAX, Phantom, almost all of the EVMs we support. So if you're interested in a specific blockchain and you want to mint a token, you don't know any coding, then we're probably the best place to do that, and it's practically free almost to actually mint
Awesome.
the token. Yeah.
Awesome. And like once someone mints a token, they basically like they can set up their like own tokenomics, the
Yeah.
supply, the issuance rates. Is that so?
Yeah, exactly. And the cool thing is, we're trying to make crypto less of a scammy place, and that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of why we started the project itself. So, aside from the tokenomics of how much you're looking to raise, what is the soft cap, hard cap, minimum contribution, maximum contribution, it's also about how much liquidity are you locking to provide that
Mm-hmm.
assurance to your investors. And all of this is backed by smart contract. So the contributors in the space have some reassurance, right? And they know that the person is serious about their project. So we do a lot of little things to ensure that the quality is very high for these IDOs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understood. Okay, and so like at the moment, how many people are you guys in the team? What's the scale?
Yeah, we have about 20 people. I mean, including community moderators. The way we structure our team is we have a development team, one that's kind of focused on keeping the product more enhanced, and the other team is more R&D now. So we have two teams, two development teams, and one team that we call kind of business team overall, which has our marketing team, our creative team, and basically our SMM and community moderators team. So
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at about six squads, mini squads with like 2 to 3 people within each. Um, so you have about 12 to 15 people at the moment.
Oh, that's actually quite big and quite serious operation there. Is like everyone an on or
Uh,
not everyone's an on?
so that's an interesting question. We're unknown to the public, but we work very closely with a lot of the blockchains because we try to help grow their token ecosystem. So, in order to provide reassurance to these blockchain groups, we're actually docs developers in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, like some folks know our identity, and then same goes with our employees. We do know them through a third party KYC either, or some of them we just are just anon, like
Mm-hmm.
community members. But it depends on the sensitivity of the role that we determine which approach we would take basically.
Understood. Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, I think because being an anon is especially a full anon team. So far, we everyone we interviewed are mainly like doxed from day
Mhm.
zero. Like I myself really doxed from day zero. At least with this project, and I guess being anon adds a lot of like layers of complexity that are very interesting to a lot of people in the space, especially those who haven't kind of worked full on as an anon and they're trying to like find a way of doing that perhaps. So forgive me if I'll be asking some uncomfortable questions.
No
Do
worries,
find ways to like
no worries.
navigate them.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's another part of it. Like we probably send it on, and if you guys choose to speak on like Twitter Spaces, you get like a lot of uncomfortable questions asked, right? So I guess it's like part of it. You need to be used to it, right?
No, I would say that I don't think it's such a big deal as people make it out to be. I think the main reason why I choose to be anonymous is my privacy. Like I love my privacy, and I think it's just one of those optional things that everyone should have, especially in crypto, should have the ability to determine, right? If you're doxed and if you've done all of the paperwork for your organization, and provided them all the details that your employer needs, then I think from a public point of view, I think everyone should have a choice whether they want to be uh, anonymous or not in some sense, and that's why metaverse is such a big thing because people aren't really coming into the metaverse with their real identity. They're coming up with different avatars and different things, and it's pretty common from what I'm noticing in the Twitter space and in the crypto space. I hope that we get to see more of that. I think anonymous anonymous people get a lot of bad rep, so I hope the sentiment around that changes as well.
Fair. I think it liberates in certain ways, but in certain ways there is, building trust. I think people
Mm-hmm.
need to see you in action over a period of time so that there is like a trust associated with the name. But I think at the same
Definitely.
time, since you're anonymous, I guess that risk that the person doesn't have anything to lose, right? Like because it's still not linked.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's where we try to find that balance. Hey, we're doxed. Hey, we've been like for myself, like we've been here for 2 years, and we've delivered every time our different products, and you're right, you're completely right. I think it does come with time. You have to build that trust, and you do have to build your own brand through this anonymous label, right? Like my name is Hash. That's kind of my nickname. So I'm basically using that as my brand anonymously. Um, so it's kind of cool in a way. It's like putting on a costume.
Mhm. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I guess majority of people here today and like on most of our Twitter spaces are either interested in like joining a company in crypto, in Web3 or metaverse, or I'm sure some percentage will go off and start their own companies or maybe already starting something and building something. So there are a lot of questions that I try to ask that will help them either, achieve their goals, either get a job or hire better, right? So I think my next question is more around like, so how do you like hire, or what's your interview process, especially like like on the first stages, everyone, do you guys do voice calls at all? I guess you don't do really video calls. Can you maybe like tell me more about the process
Sure,
for interviewing?
absolutely. Before we get going, I just want to mention Lewis. I think he should be available now. And Lewis is, a fine example of someone who we did in docs, and he's been there since uh, the earliest of times in our project, and he's basically like one of our faces in DX when he's representing us through Twitter Spaces and any form of like AMAs or um, any form of podcast as well.
Awesome.
Um,
Welcome, Lewis. You can
yeah,
unmute your mic if you want to speak at the bottom left.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody who's listening. Morning for me, afternoon for you, perhaps. Thank you for having us here.
Awesome. Great to have you.
yeah.
Yeah, in my case, for example, I'm not docs per se, but I'm the guy you see in the picture, just with the sunglasses. And I've been like that since the beginning. I've never really um, had that impulse to not do it. I guess in my case, maybe I'm just a little older than most in crypto. But I just opened one day my Telegram account, started joining groups, and just put a picture of me, and just kept it that way. And been riding these waves, and um, it hasn't really caused an issue. I think some of the team members are not docs, others we are. But I think the work speaks for itself. It does take time to build trust from the community and amongst team members. But the product and the service that you provide is what makes a difference, right? If you're the kind of person that people want to work with, you will. And you're hard, if you're if you're a hard person to work with, even if your identity is the most public, people won't want to work with you. So attitude comes a long way, and um, wanting to do things right.
Very solid points. So, like on the way of onboarding people in a company, what does your interview process look like?
Luis, you want to go first, and then I can provide mine.
Sure, absolutely. A big thing about it is feeling. It just comes to a gut feeling, and that comes with experience actually. Because imagine someone comes to you for a job and they bring their resume, right? A person who's fully doxxed, and just let's give an example in the non-crypto world. That person is gonna want to make a good impression. Um, some will come to their interview with an A game, polished up, and research the company, will research how to act in an interview, and they will give you everything you want to hear. They'll tell you everything you want to hear, and they'll look like what you want to see. But you don't know until you see that person in action. Um, so the typical job interview process actually can start off a little messy because of that, because you don't know this person. You're seeing what they want you to see. Um, in the anon world, it's pretty much the same thing. You see what they want you to see. So there is not much difference. The biggest difference, I think, on a resume, you probably have a little more exposure, but at the end of the day, it's not until you see that person in action. That's what I think is the biggest similarity between both processes and the biggest difference, which at the end comes down to seeing the person in action, right? Um, so I think it's just getting a conversation started with your candidates. It takes a little more than that, to be honest, but I'm simplifying it. Hash will give us a little more details because he's the one that hired me, so he'll give you perhaps a little insight on that. But it's a gut feeling after you have a little conversation with the people, and then you have to take it from there. I've interviewed people who I think on paper are perfect candidates, but I have them on me. We start interacting, and it's a big no. And vice versa. I've sometimes taken a leap of faith in interviewing people who I don't think are qualified, but maybe I don't really have that much of a market to pick from, and they've given me amazing surprises. So at the end of the day, you have to go with a little bit of a feeling, be willing to take a leap of faith every now and then, and be very, very serious when you're evaluating results, right? Because you don't really have that much time. So it's good to have people that are proactive and are willing to do what it takes.
Hash, did
Um,
you have anything to add to it?
Yeah, yeah. I mostly agree with what Lewis has said. I typically really hate the interview process, like the traditional version of it. It's really difficult for someone to, on both sides. The employer is looking for to get a couple of things done, and the person who's applying is trying to convince the employer that they are the right fit. So my process has always been more about feeling. I try to get to know the person and his values first before anything. I think that's the most important thing for me is skills can be learned, processes can be understood. It's about how you collaborate, how you communicate, what your values are. I think those are the core things that I look for first. And once that's established, and I have a couple of candidates that I feel are good, I give probations. That's the only way for me to know that this person is the right person. I put them on 3-month probation or 1-month probation and try to see what they're made out of. Because I like the work to speak for itself. You know, um, like Louis mentioned, you can have a lot of things on the resume, but at the end of the day, even if you had nothing and you are doing an amazing work, that's valuable to me. And crypto is such a new space that I think it's very hard for. I remember when I was applying for a development role back in 2017, and I think there was a question about wanting. I think the qualification was like, "Hey, 10 years of solidity," and I was laughing because at that time, no one in the world had 10 years of experience in solidity. So I really don't like the whole process of, and whenever we put out our job description on crypto job list, it's a very human typed out, handwritten by me, exactly what I'm looking for. And I don't put any years or anything like that for some of our roles.
Yeah, I just wanted to add here is that like for everyone who is here right now and is struggling to get a job, everyone, companies including, and people who are hiring for companies always went through, I think, quite a period of struggle and pain applying for jobs themselves. Like I myself, when I was applying for jobs in 2017, that actually led me to starting crypto job list. I was not getting replies. I was being dissed, you know, without much feedback. So hang in there, keep applying, but also try to get feedback and incorporate that feedback. Back to you guys at DX. So like, I'm still very curious about like the kind of the technicalities of it. Like, do you actually jump on the call with people,
Yeah.
or at what point do you actually do the phone call?
My process is, let's for community management. Like I think I got like 20 to 50 applicants. I forget the number. It was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
What I try to do is find people uh, from different languages, from different time zone, and then basically what they put in um, their like cover letter, or I think there's a section where you can write a personal message or something.
Yeah.
I read that basically, and then if something is something that kind of sticks out for me, I basically book a call. I book a call with almost everyone. It takes long. It takes a long while, but I try to get to know every person that has applied, because I don't want to be misguided by a resume. So I try to get to know the person, and I do a rigorous process where I actually speak with people, book a call. It doesn't have to be video; it's pretty optional if they want it to be video. And then once I do that, I basically then go into a process of, hey, what are the great quality of this person's, and where he and she can fit, and does this person has their own passions uh, to strive for the next 5 years, and where would that be, and can we help enable that? And that's kind of what I that's what my thought process is at DX, because we're trying to be here for the next 5 to 10 years. I can 100% say we will be here for the next 5 years, um, based on our current success. 10 years is questionable, so I try to hire anyone with that kind of mindset, uh, who's basically looking to be part of the XL for that long.
I think with this kind of process and this value set, I think you're definitely going to be around for some time. I genuinely hope that you will. So regarding the video part, I think for a lot of companies, it's like almost a deal breaker if the person, or like a red flag if the person is not willing to do a video call. But I guess in your case, do you like turn on your camera as well while being like an on, or do you not do that, or how does it work?
Yeah, I don't ask them to turn on video at all.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't ask anyone to do something I wouldn't do myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I just give them the option, and I don't even bring it up, to be honest. If they do get the role, based on the sensitivity of the role, I would ask my lawyers to draft up a NDA, or I would get a third party to do a KYC, on them, because I don't want to own the KYC information as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
have reputable third party KYC, if we feel it is needed. Um, but that's kind of how it is for us.
Interesting, cool. I think for a lot of like non-anon and doxed founders in crypto and like outside of crypto, like video call is a very high bandwidth communication channel to understand a lot of like nonverbal cues about the person. So yeah, I'm kind of
Mhm.
impressed that you guys are able to do it without it. And I also like just wanted to make a comment to everyone who's listening is that don't be video shy. Video is a great channel and great opportunity to express yourself and
Yeah,
to
video is a great way to showcase effort, right? Someone can wear a suit. I think Chong was one person who didn't have his camera on but had a suit on. Um, but But you know what? Again, for me, it's just for me, right? I don't want video to lead me or misguide me in some way. I'm looking at a global pool of people with who knows what kind of circumstances, right? And I don't want to impose and create some kind of narrative
Hmm.
based on, again, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, it can be great, but at the same time, for me, it's about values. For me, it's like, even if you're not wearing a suit, you know, what value, what are your core set of values? And there's no correct um, correct list of that. It all depends on, hey, what is the core set of values? Who are the core? What are the team members that I have? What are their values? Does the values kind of align? Will they like blend well? Will they be able to really work together and be much more productive um, than someone else who has a little bit of different core value system, belief system. So it's a lot. My strategy is more towards that.
Awesome. I think my next question will be exactly about values, but before that, I just wanted to do some housekeeping announcement. Is that I'm seeing a few people requesting access for Mike, and please be patient. We'll have a section towards the end, maybe in like about 20-30 minutes, where you guys will be able to ask questions and contribute. But for now, please stay patient. Please do not give up on your requests. And of course, we'll be adding you guys to speakers based on kind of our capacity availability, and make sure that you have an interesting bio and you don't have any like whatever random scammy whatever weird profile on Twitter. So we'll promote only the best, the most interesting, but don't be shy. Anyway, back to the questions. Yeah, so like you were talking about values, right? So like, what are your core key values that you're trying to like profile for, and you're trying to exhibit yourself?
For me, like, honesty is like one of the top ones. Um, Honesty, being able to admit where your gaps are, understanding the bigger picture, willing to learn. Um, those are the ones that come from my mind. And yeah, just like you know, like, we built our platform on the basis that we want to do the right things. So I ask, I try to see if this person can be counted on to do the right thing. The ethical thing, ethical stuff. So that's kind of what I look for, is try to see if someone is able to express that in some way through their work.
Mm. For non-technical roles, do you have any like specific questions or kind of common steps that you take people through? Like, what are the like maybe test assignments or
Mm-hmm.
phases like that?
Yeah, so I've started asking my community. So but it depends on the role. For community moderators, I ask them to, hey, could you send me a voice note? Sometimes I get a lot of people on Telegram asking me for a job directly, and I ask them, hey, could you send me a note? Just, I'd like to understand how good are you in public speaking. For example, for developers, it's more like, what is your tech stack and what kind of level are you at? Your beginner stage, intermediate, or advanced? So based off that, I try to figure out, hey, why don't you build this prototype for us? Why don't you build this for us? Or so again, it's more about showcasing your work. I'm hiring a graphic designer, and I've asked three folks that I've interviewed. I've asked them to go through their design process, and then at the end of the day, I said, you know what? It's very hard for me to determine who is the right fit. So there's a series of assignment that I have in my mind, scenarios. Um, I'm going to give you guys, each one of you, a week to see what you guys can deliver based on your, and creativity, and your based on your deadline, see what you can present me, and based off that, it gives me a better idea of who the right person is.
Mhm. Do you feel it's the similar like for like every founder has their own like core skill set, right? So in your case, I assume you're again, as you mentioned, you're a dev, right? Like your background is engineering. Is that so?
No, I'm actually a mix of like I studied IT and business,
Mm-hmm.
and professionally, like before crypto, I've done a lot of web development and project management.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I understand kind of every area within an organization, setting up teams, how things will flow, how processes would flow. I've never done um, like HR stuff until recently through this basically venture of mine.
Cool. Yeah, I think like my question that I was about to ask is around, everyone has their own certain skill set and area of competency, right? And it's quite often it's much easier to hire within the skill set that you already know because you can understand whether the person can bullshit you or not. But once
Yeah,
you start hiring for roles that you're not an expert in, it's much harder for you personally to make the judgment, right? So, like, have you developed any strategies or techniques on how to figure out how to hire for those roles that where you are not yourself an expert in?
yeah, that's a tricky one. Like I tried to ask some of my friends uh, who are within those roles and try to ask them questions about who they feel is what are the main qualities that they would look for in the best candidate for this type of role. Google is a great resource available. So I think I'm kind of basically trying my best to learn and try to fill up as many gaps as possible. um, but that's why we have this probationary period at DX, and I think Tesla is one of the few companies that is also employing this method. They're saying, we're gonna give every engineer that we feel. Um, I don't know how they set their qualification because to them education they don't evaluate, of course, but I think they have the brightest and they want to give everyone probation to figure out if they are the right fit in terms of innovation. So it's a mixed balance. So I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I'm that qualified in, like, for example, marketing. I don't know anything about it, um, but I try to figure out, based on their past experience, how would they approach my problems, how would they solve my problems, and based on their answer, I try to take them on with a probationary period to see if it is something that is working
Mm-hmm.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like having probationary period is rather common for most companies, but I think what you're referring to is probably something a little bit different. Maybe it's a bit more like looser, less ties probationary period. Have you had situations where you had to let go of people during that probationary period, and how did you go about it? What do you have any like tips on doing that elegantly and with grace?
Yeah, well, we had a situation with the developer. We were well, our core development team had their hands full. So I needed someone to basically build a very specific thing. And I hired someone for a probationary period um, of, I think, 1 month. Um, and the scope I made sure is adequate. Um, so this I won't talk about the scope itself, but this person basically he basically delivered something that can be done in like a week, um, by week number 4. And by week number 4, I basically got on a call and I asked this person, hey, this work that you did, how long do you think should it had actually taken? And how much, what was the forecast, what was the actual, and this, you're charging me for a senior dev, and this is like unprofessional to be delivering something like this. And you know, we kind of understood the probation, what the probation was for. We understood the scope, and we were available. So there was a huge lack of communication um, that didn't allow us to basically feel like he was the right person. And that's what I want to stress in this space of ours is communication is the key to success. And you know, you should never be too afraid, you know, whether it's to communicate the good or the bad to, you know, anyone you're working with, basically.
It's some solid learnings. A bit of a sensitive question. Do you guys pay during the probationary period, or is it like paid less, more? Is it free?
Yeah, it depends on the role. For some roles we've done half. We've done like 50%. For some we've done free, some we've done full. So it really depends on the role.
For or free? What do we say?
Oh, like you're speaking about salary, right? Like probationary. Yeah. So the salary depends on the role. Some roles I've given them like full monthly salaries. Some 50% of their full salary. So if their full salary was like 1K, I will pay them 500. Like that. Yeah.
Understood. Cool. All right. I think my other question is like back to kind of
Sorry, I would just
Sorry, go on.
yeah, I just would like to add that it takes a lot of trial and error to do that whole process that Hash was talking about. Um, bringing in somebody that has, or that bringing in somebody for a role with skills beyond your own, like you were saying, it really takes trial and error because you have to learn how to be able to judge that. So the first time you might get it wrong, but as you go along, you pick up those things, and it kind of becomes like an instinct because as you hire for one role, you do become a little more adapted to it, and you're able to hire for another one. But when you do step into an area of another skills, it just takes trial and error. You hire someone because you believe they have the competence, and you know you like their attitude and everything, and then it's just seeing them on the go. Um, but yeah, it takes time to scale, um, and you know the man is getting there. That's it, guys, for now.
Yeah, I think I try to stay away from bulk hiring, mainly because of that. I understand the gaps that I need to fill, so I tried my best to not rush the process either, even though it should be rushed at certain times. I do evaluate one by one, you know, bring someone in, assess, you know, do a lot of lesson learned, you know, self reflection myself, because I think that's a core thing that I need to be doing all the time to ensure that everyone under my umbrella is happy. So I'm always trying to figure out how I can be better in terms of whether that's hiring or just making people who work for DX happy in any way.
Very true. I think it's a learning process for everyone, and the people who are applying for companies, they should not forget that people who are hiring, they're also human beings, and they're also learning, and they're also developing their careers. They might be a few steps ahead in some ways, but they're still, there's sky's the limit. You can always grow further, personal, professional, as a founder, or as a HR manager, or as a you name it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll tell you a quick story. We hired someone that didn't know anything regarding web development, but he was very interested in it. He did a IDO on our platform, which failed, but he was really interested in building something. He was really interested in the wanted to be involved, and you know, he was very communicative, and he was a very positive person. So we wanted to help, you know, support that, and we did that through a probationary period. You know, we brought him in, try to help him. We actually paid for his Udemy courses as well. So you know, sky is the limit. I would say for everyone who's looking to be part of the cryptocurrency uh, job force.
Yeah, this is very true. I had a bit more like specialized question around hiring anons specifically, and I'm sure there's a bunch of anons today here listening. Any tips that you see that would help people stand out and communicate better as like anonymous contributors and build trust faster, perhaps?
Um, there's a couple of things that come to my mind, and I completely understand. Anonymous have a tougher road sometimes, and no one would know that better than I. Given that we tried to do a lot of PR for DX and we were rejected because of our anonymity. Um, I would say join the community. Start with the community. Start with the product, and ask yourself, how can you contribute to this product uh, with whatever skills you may have, and and then just try to um, get more involved. See if you can become a moderator. And I know that's may sound a little bit off to some people, but that's how you show that you're really interested in the product. You really care about the product and you want to be involved. And that kind of solves like 80%. Like if you do that, you're pretty much 99%. You're doing 99% of the stuff that other people might not be doing. It takes effort, but if you really love the product, you'll just be engaging in the community without even realizing it as work. And that's the best feeling in the world, I would say. So start there, and then just ask, hey, can I be a moderator? And then try to find problems. What are the problems that's lingering in the product? How can you solve it? And just message people and wait, or either wait for them to actually open up a job posting and then try to apply there, because that's the stepping stone. Everyone in crypto either gets in through connections, I'm sure, but I've seen a lot that start at community moderator, and then from there, based on the landscape, they try to figure out how they can utilize their skills from their current industry, into cryptocurrency.
True. Is there any pet peeves that you have, or like you wish people did less of it while applying to positions? And if they did less of that, that would be just like infinitely more successful.
Uh, it's weird because I can't blame them for doing it. Like some folks like really try to out like beyond sell, like outsell like themselves, like whether that's like saying you have, like, I'll just take something as an example, like 5 year 10 years of experience, but their portfolio kind of only showcases like half a month or 2 months of work. And you can tell that this person doesn't have that much experience right from the get-go. So like doing that stuff is like it's a bit of a pet peeve, but I don't really have that much of a pet peeve, I would say, about it. But because I kind of understand they can't
Well,
they do this for certain reasons.
you can be empathetic, but I think in the end of the day, you can understand where they're coming from. But like, is there like maybe a specific set of things that you just wish people didn't do while applying
Exactly.
or in interview process?
Yeah, you're only hurting yourself. I never understood why people do that. The whole part of the job application process is to find. It's like you're finding your true love, right? In a way.
Yep.
It's like a very bonded relationship, especially in crypto. And you want to make sure you find the right person. The best way to find the right person is to first be honest with yourself and where you are in your career journey, and then figure out, hey, who is actually willing to support me and figure me out. But also, I want to help add value to to this relationship as well in some meaningful way.
Yeah, this is very true. I feel surprisingly, a lot of people don't think about it as like a mutual relationship, but they
Mm-hmm.
always think about it. Oh, how can I prevent being taken from, and how can I tell me what to do basically, and pay me money instead of thinking of, oh, what can I learn here and what can I contribute. And if you're doing those things really well and you're adding value, most companies would be most long-term quality businesses, they would pay sooner or later, because people who run them, they're not idiots. They understand that it would be idiotic not to maintain not to maintain someone on team who is driving value. At least that's how I see most of those things.
Yeah, and that's one of my core values, is to see if this person is thinking like this, right? I need someone who understands where they are and where they want to go. They might not know, but they're willing to learn and they're willing to grow. So I think that's definitely valuable, like you said.
Cool. I think we'll be moving to. Oh, sorry. I think Lewis had something to add.
Yes, Emil, thank you. I would just like to give a little recommendation to everybody listening. If you're going to a job interview, just be yourself, literally. Um, things in a traditional interview basically are tend to be awkward, because we don't know. Nobody prepares us for a job interview, and not everyone's also prepared on doing a job interview. So most preconceptions that we have about how you should behave, how you should dress, how you should speak, are literally wrong. They're things that we get from movies or TV shows, but they tend to be wrong. Um, so don't stress, relax. We get into crypto to leave all of those awkwardness and all of those BS behind. So don't bring it into a job interview and a crypto related job. You should actually be even more relaxed and less stressed, because both sides of the table are in a learning situation. Everyone in crypto is still learning. There is nobody who's already a master and who knows things. Um, this space is constantly evolving. Roles are constantly evolving. Skill sets are constantly evolving. So everybody's a little bit awkward when they're interviewing and when they're getting interviewed. So just be yourself and relax, as hard as it can be. Um, that's it for me.
Yeah, I try to do the same thing when I'm going into interviews. I don't go in with an agenda at all, especially for community moderators, because I think anyone can do that job. Anyone willing to learn can do that job. So it's a bit about having that personal conversation and figuring out exactly who this individual is, and then figuring out where their goals are, so getting there.
Yeah, I think going into interview with the mindset of low expectations is the best strategy, and just being open to any experiences and any direction that conversation can go. I think it's a way to success in many ways. Cool. What are the positions that you guys are hiring for right now? What's the most present ones?
Yeah, good question. I think we are looking for some moderators and graphic designers. Anyone who can do video or animation, or like 2D or 3D animation, or video editing or video creating. I think those are the type of folks that we're kind of looking for right now, and mostly in the creative space or the moderating space at the moment. Like I think we mentioned, I'm not too sure if I mentioned this before, but we're growing in a sense that we're building out an innovative, I believe I've never seen anything like it in the crypto space. A game that kind of ties in NFTs that you can bring from different chains into the game. So we're doing a lot of interesting things. So we're looking for creative people. We're starting to do more marketing now with Chong involved. So Chong is looking for someone who can do amazing graphics for him and any type of visually appealing, whether that's infographics or videos. So we're kind of looking for someone who has a lot of a different variety of skills or willing to learn those things as well.
Awesome. Is there any? I think I'll gonna be moving to a next section or next phase of the Twitter space. But do you feel like there's any questions that I haven't asked that you wish I asked you guys, or anything that you guys wanted to add perhaps about just working in the space, or advice for people looking for jobs, and as well as like hiring.
Yeah. I would just mention one thing, and maybe this might be too early to mention, but we're also building out a like an ambassador program. Um, we're trying to find a way to connect, our projects that launch on our platform. They're always looking for certain people with certain skills, but they're having a hard time finding the right quality of it online. So we're trying to figure out how we can do that. And one of the ideas that Chong mentioned was having some sort of an ambassador program where we can try to help, find the right people with early seed projects that are looking, and usually saw like, help us, you know, get involved. So it's a great way to just do free, like basically it's like volunteer work, but then it provides a lot of experience in return. So if anyone's interested, uh, yeah, definitely, join our Telegram and ask about it.
Interesting. You triggering some ideas in my head around like maybe helping build out some sort of like ambassador, I don't know, pool, or like a vetting program, or just like a list where like products like yourself can tap in, or like your products that are launching on your platform can tap in, and it's like a win-win. Both the talent who wants to break into the industry, they can learn and grow quickly, and the projects can also find great talent that will stick with them. I don't know, just super early stage of brainstorming.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's basically the concept. We see a problem and we're trying to figure out how we can try to help this, cryptocurrency space grow, especially in this early start of the game. So it would be very interesting if there's opportunities with crypto job list, actually, if we can do that, because we're building out a decentralized way of trying to connect people, at these really early stages, uh, to basically find each other and try to make uh, make more mainstream crypto applications, basically.
Yeah, sounds like we're quite aligned. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's something in our head. We see it. Maybe we can chat offline a bit more
Definitely,
about.
definitely. Anyway, I think this kind of sums up the first part of the Twitter space, where we're kind of asking questions, but or at least I'm asking questions. But I think let me make a small, quick announcement about Pope, how to claim it. A lot of people, I think, came for that as well, and then we'll continue maybe additional. Hash, do you think like 20 minutes, 30 minutes? How much time do you have? Additional, like
I have
maybe
all the time in the world for you, man.
awesome. So additional 5 hours. We're gonna be doing a Q&A. No, I'm kidding. Of course, not 5 hours. But until we'll either of us start like fading out, and our conscience starts leaving. Anyway, so as mentioned, as you guys seen in the tweet announcement, every week, or for most of these Twitter spaces, we try to give out Pope NFTs, proof of attendance token. I'm sure you guys seen it before. So and we've noticed that they've been super popular, and a lot of people have been trying to claim it. So basically, the way to claim it today is you need to go to DX company profile on Crypto Jobs List. You need to find where it is. It's very doable. And you need to check out what are the job positions, maybe apply if you're looking for them. But yeah, and basically you need to follow. There you will see a claiming widget where you just need to drop your email and your Twitter handle. Make sure to follow both Crypto Jobs and DX Sale, and we will send you like an email with the claiming link, with the unique claiming link. So yeah, I think this is very kind of the streamlined process with win-win for everyone, and hopefully to prevent people abusing it, which happened in the first few Twitter spaces. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. I think that a lot of people really want Pope tokens. Well, they're free to claim, and I think it's a great way to represent that you've been part of some community and kind of reuse it later. But yeah, I've also noticed that a lot of people try to game it a bit too much, So
Mm.
we kind of I now empathize with a lot of NFT projects that have whitelists because bots are out there to get you.
Oh man, it's the same thing with us, right? People try to bot into pre-sales on our platform all the time, and there's nothing. I don't think there's anything you can do about it, like from our side, anyways. But yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think.
interesting.
Yeah, I think like kind of based on my experience here so far is like kind of whitelists are warranted to a certain extent, or kind of I see where they're coming from. That
Mm-hmm.
you know you want to show some human action, right? Something that is not
Yeah,
that easily fakeable. And projects want to see that because they don't want to give out their tokens just to like a one set of hackers in a good way or in a bad way, in the good or bad meaning of that word, but to one set of whatever whales who will just like snipe the whole collection and not be
right.
engaged. That's going to be a lose-lose for the community, for the project, for everyone. Um,
It's a very nice idea, though, incentivizing people to kind of, you know, collaborate in a community and get NFTs. That's pretty cool. I think Reddit is the one also that's doing that with their moons on our cryptocurrency, and
mm.
so it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's the current mechanic on Reddit, but we've been iterating on how to claim pokes with us for I think after every session I learn something new about how people try to game it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I try to add at least like something that is not completely. I think just like I'm trying to add like reasonable human actions, like drop your Twitter handle, drop your like email, so at least we can sense that you're probably not a bot, and yeah, just follow us. I think it's very reasonable. If you're
I
not.
might borrow that playbook because we have this Telegram channel
Mm-hmm.
called DX Pre-Sales, and we're trying to kind of we're starting to do AMAs with only KYC projects
Mm-hmm.
there. So we're actually trying to figure out a way to kind of organically bring people onto those AMAs. And we don't want to do airdrop mainly because we feel like only bots will join. So we're trying to figure out what that right balance is.
Mm.
So another conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone's like learning about what's the best way to do these things, and I think everyone needs to be cognizant of like projects should not be abusing it too much as well, because I think from what I've heard with a lot of NFT projects, they by now just making you slave away for the whitelist. Uh,
Mhm.
so I think kind of trying to strike that balance is very important. Um, yeah, let me start to carefully start adding people who've been patiently waiting in kind of in request area. We'll be adding you guys to the speakers, and just some rules of Twitter Space. Please be kind and exceptional with each other. Do not shield too much. Do a quick introduction of yourself and ask your question. And yeah, and you will be given an answer, hopefully. All right, we'll start with Mr. NFT. Please introduce yourself. Not too much hardcore shilling, please. And yeah, ask a question.
This is my first time to meeting such an experts who are willing to help many people and come out to show their experience and knowledge. And first of all, I am very happy, and I am working with different projects at Discord and Telegram, and I am very happy from Hash point of view because he tried to understand the people who are trying to apply that job, and I want to share my own experience. It would not take long. 2 days before, I joined a new project where the person who hired me and doesn't give me a guideline how to do my work, but because of that I face very difficulty, and I asked him again and again, kindly give me your guideline because I understand every community have their own guidelines and working style. So I want to ask from you, am I wrong here to asking again guidance? Because they simply said, you know, you are the node and admin, you tell us and you know what to do. But I want to learn how they want to operate. Thank you.
Yeah, my honest, I think you should definitely be asking, but I think you should ask, maybe just ask them what their end result, like what is their picture of how would the community needs to feel like, be like, you know, those type of end results. And then based off that, you can figure out what you want to do. So that's one option. Anything on your mind, Louis, that you might want to add?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think, my friend, in that case, the person who hire you is also not aware of what his requirements are. Um, I think you mentioned
Hmm.
you're a moderator. So in his mind, his community needs to be moderated, but he doesn't know how to make that happen. Um, so in that case, I will tell you to take it as you go. For example, answer questions the best way you can. If you don't know the answer, take it back to your supervisor and ask. But just get as involved with the community as you can. Answer their questions as honestly and as fast as you can. And you're going to be evolving into the role yourself because the community will also take you with them. You understand what I mean? If the community is going through a hard time and wants to know information, then you'll step up and you're going to become an informer. If the community is making suggestions, and you're going to become probably a middleman for those suggestions between the community and the rest of your team. So your role as a moderator will be evolving as the needs for the community evolve. And what I would suggest in that case is to um, be a little empathic as well. I understand you can be insecure if you're not sure where you're supposed to go. I know that leadership starts at the top, but like I was saying earlier, we're in a space that is very new. So even the people that are in the leadership positions are also unsure, unaware, and a lot of times misguided and misinformed, right? Because they're learning as well. So the guy needs a moderator, but he probably doesn't know what a moderator is to begin with. A lot of times people hire a moderator because they need someone to, just to give you an example, program the rosebot. um, so the person hiring has no clue how to do it, but he's hiring someone who he needs to do it and who will know. um, so this person won't know how to guide you because he doesn't know how, a lot of times. um, so communication is key, but also I would just say adapt to it as you go along. Interact with the community. That's going to be the main position, and that's going to basically allow you to develop yourself for your role. Um, take it as you go. I will tell you, because remember that person is also learning, and I think that's where sometimes lack of communication can come from, because nobody likes to admit that they don't know. Um, I hope all of that made sense. It was like several. I was going to several places at once, um, because it is that complex.
Yeah, I think
And
you hit it on the right place though.
I'm so sorry I didn't listen you because my internet was so bad.
You
Yeah, but
lost
sure.
you lost expensive advice just now.
Yes, but I know the session is recorded, so I will listen it later.
Yeah.
I would not miss that point. Thank you for his advice. And I want to make a request from Sarhash. I voluntarily ask his guidance, and if he allow me, I will closely follow and try to learn. Because I am already earning, but I think it is for the present. I want to earn in a future. Therefore, I have to get ready and develop myself. Currently, I'm trying to learn German language, but I think I have to learn more things and uh, what do I say? Develop more professionalism in my working.
Yeah, my 2 cents would be for you is it's not about learning a lot of things sometimes. You're learning German, that's great, but why don't what my advice, my honest advice to you would be focus more on the English first. Not just like verbal communication, but written components as well. Try to cover that as until you're like 90%, 100% there. Then look into other languages. So I've seen a lot of people make this mistake is when they're learning, for example, development, they're trying to learn front end, they're learning to do back end, they're trying to learn all of these different components all at once. And you really don't need that much sophistication in cryptocurrency job industry. And I think that's a big thing that people get confused about. Sometimes it's just having the simple things, and if you have it at a very high proficient level, and Lewis is a great example of this. He's a better public speaker, in my opinion, than myself, and that's where his value is coming from as well. So I would say just my 2 cents would be on that.
I understand your points, but there are very few people whom I communicate in English. Therefore, I try to learn German to communicate more and become good in German. But I
Yeah,
understand your
I,
point.
I would say there are good references. Like again, I'm just trying to help you. I think there's a lot of references on YouTube, and then in terms of actually practicing it, I would say join a lot of Telegram communities where there's always video chats happening, like not video chats, but like those chats happening where you can use your voice, and just start to just unwind, right? Because you are anonymous, you have nothing to lose, kind of thing. Just start practicing. Spend 1 to 2 hours after you learn something um, online, or practice, and then just apply that. And it'll take time, but I promise you the value that you
Okay,
will get out of this long term would be
I will
much
follow
more.
your advice, sir.
Awesome. Thanks for the question, Mr. NFT, and a good reminder about the recording. We usually dump this or export these in a podcast format, so you can go on your favorite podcasting app and find "Working Crypto" by Crypto Jobs List. And speaking about community management, I think last week or 2 weeks ago we had this conversation with a bunch of community managers, and the space took like 3.5 hours with a lot of very valuable insights there about how to manage community. So I encourage you to go take a look at that episode as well. I think that's something where you, Mr. NFT, can learn quite a few things. And also, just to comment to your initial question, I think what Lewis and Hash were saying, that very likely the person who like hired you do not know the ins and outs of the role, and that's why they hired you. And it's not a bad thing, but they're definitely expecting this person whom you hired, which is you, to know much more about community management and moderating than they do, right? So like, it's for you to succeed, you need to learn as much as you can about the role, and kind of try to do your best while you're doing it, while you're kind of learning it, and yet do try to ask them questions, but do rely on yourself first and foremost, while kind of performing your duties. Okay, hope that helps. Let me promote more people to the to the speaker position, and some updates on Pope claiming process, because I'm sure there are going to be a lot of questions. People are going to be DMing us. Basically, I think we'll reach the rate limit on Twitter, but do make sure that you follow both DX Sale Twitter handle and us, and then try claiming your Pope. If you didn't receive it right away, we will try to email to you in a bit. And again, this is something experimental. We're still improving the claiming process. And if you didn't manage to make it this time, we will. There'll be more Twitter Spaces sessions in the future. So stay tuned. All right, next up, Sylvester Wallet, something wallet. Sylvester Solid Wallet. is joining us. Please unmute yourself, make a quick introduction, and ask your question, sir. If there will be no questions, we will have to demote you. Is the space lagging, or is it just me?
I hear you perfectly fine.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess Sylvester doesn't have a question, so we will either wait. All right, we have. Okay, let me see who else requested access. So we have some people with protected accounts. I'm sorry, I cannot give Mike access to that. I want to see what you guys are all about. I want all the coins. The end. Okay, that's at least interesting description. I see crypto too.
Hey, I see I got speaker. I'm not sure if you're speaking, but I can't hear you now. Like I was listening.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Just
I hear you now.
yeah. Perfect. Make a quick intro about yourself and ask your question.
Okay. I'm at crypto. I'm pretty new to as far as like NFTs and exploring devs of this part of the cryptoverse. I've been involved in DAOs for a minute. A lot of DeFi, centrified trading, but I'm looking to go to school to actually for something as far as blockchain learning. And where should I start?
Mm-hmm. Okay, good question. I would say, do you want to? Okay, so in blockchain development, right? When you're talking about a DApp, right, DAO or whatever, there's three components. There's the front end side, which is kind of the visualization part of things, and that's a lot of the effort actually goes into that, the UI look of things. And then there's the middle layer part. We call that Web3. Web3 kind of connects the blockchain and the UI to kind of like connect and talk to one another. And the third part is the backend part, the blockchain part, where you actually have to know Solidity and whatever blockchain language, whether that's Rust or whatever. So you have three different streams, right? Components. And usually when you see full stack development or full stack or blockchain development, that basically means someone is basically very proficient in all three sides. So my recommendation to you would be first to just start to learn from yourself. Everything is actually available on YouTube. I know there are courses online, I'm sure, or there's university that might be providing that. My personal, opinion is I think they're just money grabs. I think the best thing you can do is learn on your own through a lot of YouTube channels that are out there. Udemy courses are really good as well. But pick something that's really, that was created within this year, right? Or late last year. And start with some basics. Learn how to first create a Web2 project using just React. Just React is just the UI part. Start there. Once you get an idea of that, then move on to the backend part. And I think Ethereum, if you go to ethereum.org, there's a lot of like fun tutorials that you could do. There's something called Crypto Zombies that basically walks you through all the different beginner stuff of Solidity. And once you learn that, then you can figure out the Web3 stuff. Again, there's a lot of tutorials online I think you can find.
All right. I'm kind of familiar with HTML and a little bit of Java. So
Mm-hmm.
my main question, the meat and potatoes was, where should I start learning, which would give me the biggest leg up into the industry? As far as
Okay.
it doesn't matter front end or back end or middle end,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not concerned because I'm pretty proficient as far as learning either section,
Okay.
but I just want to know which the quickest way for me to onboard because
Mm-hmm.
I right
Mm-hmm.
now I'm making an NFT, but I'm also trying to add utility, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn as I'm going so that I can have the skills already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say start with React. If you know HTML and Java, uh, then learn JavaScript and then learn React. I think that's the fastest thing you can do to onboard yourself. And React UI developer, there's a bunch of roles I'm sure that are available, because it's very in demand basically in crypto. Everyone's using React, uh, React or Vue. So research that, start there. That would be my 2 cents.
All right, cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I had something to add. If you have a little bit of, as you mentioned, Java and HTML background, right? You want to kind of figure out whether you're kind of really excited about front end, and in this case, definitely like React JS is the way to go. Learning front end, you will definitely gonna use JavaScript and TypeScript for majority of building front ends and some of the backend infrastructure. But I would say majority of companies like they do not need. I mean, it really depends on the company. But in terms of learning on-chain development, then you need to figure out which chain you want to be building for. If it is an EVM compatible chain like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, whatever, Polygon, etc., you definitely going to be learning Solidity. I would agree that a lot of courses out there are money grabs, but I think there are more and more like much higher quality content that is being put together in a course that you can learn, right? I think like I personally know guys from Eat the Blocks, Julian. So he's pretty good. I haven't done personally any of his courses, but I've watched a lot of his tutorial videos, and you can get a lot out of them just by watching them for free on YouTube. And the same thing with Patrick, I forgot his last name, but the guy who works for Chainlink, he does amazing YouTube tutorials on how to build, ERC20, ERC721, and I think that will get you started, and it will get you quite far. What else? What else? I think DAP University. I'm not sure if they're still doing kind of code programming courses or not, and I cannot really, I haven't used them myself, but they've been around for quite some time in the industry, and they're not scamming. They've been in the industry for quite some time. And I think another thing that I wanted just to like say for a lot of people out there who are looking for engineering positions and they're thinking, how can they break in as an engineer? There's so much open source out there. Every single project would have an open source repo, and if the project doesn't have a GitHub profile with some open source, repos, you shouldn't be trusting them. You shouldn't be using them in the first place. And so the best way to get noticed and to learn is just to clone a repo, try to run it, try to understand how it works, make some modifications. And once you're ready and you feel you can like want to contribute or you want to get noticed by the team, just send a PR request or like maybe make some comments or create an issue. Be valuable, be useful. And as a developer, it's very easy to show that value just by making a PR request, contributing some anywhere from fixing a typo somewhere in the front end code all the way to, I don't know, fixing a bug or creating a new feature or writing unit tests. Writing unit tests is super important, and a lot of people do not want to do that. So as a part of learning process, I think writing unit tests is super great learning experience. Yeah, I think hopefully this is useful. If Hash wanted to comment anything there.
No, it's
That was
definitely
nice.
useful. I'm gonna DM you because a lot of what you said, you broke up a lot, but there was a lot of information that I was getting from you that it was extremely useful,
Yeah.
honestly.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Please don't DM me. I think our DMs right now breaking up. People asking for Pope. But these sessions are recorded. You can both listen to them on Twitter, and you can also look for Work in Crypto podcast on your favorite podcasting app. We are on Apple Podcasts, Android, whatever they call Google Podcasts, on Spotify, etc. and you can just look it up, and we will have this session and other sessions available there where you can listen, and you can just scroll all the way to this specific section and like re-listen the snippet with advice. Yep, hope this is useful. We're going to be adding more people to ask questions. Again, small update on Pope. I see a lot of people trying to claim it, and people are complaining on Twitter, which is reasonably so. I think we reached rate limit with Twitter API, which is giving all the issues right now. But we'll do our best to. We still have like a log of people who reached out for us, so we'll try to get back to you guys. So please be patient and make sure to follow both DX Sale on Twitter as well as Crypto Jobs List, because following both of these accounts will increase your chances of getting Poke. And again, if you don't get it, don't be super upset. There will be future Twitter Spaces. All right, who was up next? I think, to my honest memory, that was Mr. Obama. I'll add you as a speaker. Make sure to make a very quick, brief intro and ask your question clear, concise. I think one of my advice with Twitter Spaces to increase your chances of getting, speaker access is to have a good handle. So like, don't have numbers in your handle name, because that's usually screams that, okay, this account was recently created, or I don't feel a lot of people, it screams that it's like a low quality account. But we'll take a leap of faith this time, and hopefully the question will be good. There we go. Hello.
Yeah, good.
Hey, Obama.
Yeah, I'm really imparted with what your guest said and how to come in on board. I worked formerly with a coin. I was one of their group moderator. It was really helpful and the project went well, but for now we just put a hold on the project due to some of the financial partnership we're looking for. So like I want to tell, like for what Mr. Hash said, if there's any role, just the way he said, ambassador role and moderator, like I don't even know the name of this thing on Telegram. If you can really emphasize on that more, maybe even though for volunteer purpose, I can still come in and learn more, because I think it's more of personal development than going for the financial aspect for a moderator role for me. So if there's any role I can play for him in his coming projects, I think I'm available if he's willing to let in.
Yeah, we will. I think after this, we will do a tweet regarding the ambassador program. We do have something already in Medium, and then we try to collect people who are interested in just helping different projects out, and then we try to connect them. So there's a link, there's a process, there's a form. We have over, I think, 200 people that filled out the form and applied, and then we will do that again sometime next week or so. And then you just have to wait basically until we kind of match you with someone, because we send this list out to anyone who's launched on our platform, and then they can basically contact you if they need involvement.
Okay. Just
Yeah,
while
so
you're
just
speaking,
follow us on the Excel, and then just wait for the tweet regarding the ambassador program, and then you have your leads from there.
okay, no problem. Thank you very much. I'll be waiting for the tweet. Then I go on
Awesome.
board.
Thank you, Obama.
Thanks so much. All right, I'll mute you, Obama, for now. We have Anjali add as a speaker, ambassador. And I'll be also removing previous people who ask questions. If you have another question, please make sure to raise your hand again if you have another interesting question. But for now, I'll be removing you because Twitter has a limit on number of speakers that can be active at any given point in time. So I'll be removing you guys. Thanks so much. All right, Anjali, please introduce yourself, ask a question.
Yeah, hi Raman, hi Haj. Thank you so much for such informative space. And my question is regarding community management. You know, when in the early stages of any project, like how can we help in the project to grow their community, as Hash is a launch pad, like uh, before any project launch, like as a community manager, what are the things where we can focus on?
Great question. From my experience, a lot of like project owners, they try to really fake their numbers on their community. So I think community manager, what they need to do is a lot of like um, building an organic community and have a target number for that, um, and figure out what are some of the things that you can do for free to increase your community member count organically. And this could be joining other communities and having an organic conversation, and trying to basically funnel them in, so I think that's what separates the good community managers from great community managers is, uh, you know, a typical community manager would just focus on their own Telegram and answer questions when they come. They wouldn't really create an atmosphere, and they wouldn't go to other channels and basically be passionate about the project, because the project should be solving a problem. So you should be very passionate about it, and discuss it time to time, not chill it, in that sense, and try to organically grow the community. It would take a lot. It would take a longer time, but it would create like a foundational, um, really strong foundation for the project, basically. And that's something you want in the beginning. You want people who are very passionate about the project.
All right, thank you for the answer. I really appreciate.
Thank you. Great question.
All right, next up, okay, Paula. All right, okay, Paula, please make a quick introduction of yourself and ask your question.
Hello. Hi everyone. Thanks for
Hello,
this.
hello, we can hear you.
All right. Thanks for this opportunity. I'm just new in this crypto space, but before I came in here, I've been seeing opportunities. I've seen people talk about how they've made it through the crypto space as developers. Learning new skills, and there are a lot of opportunities for newbies like us. I'm just new in this space, and it's just a question I want to ask, and this is a question. I work, I have my own company, I do my business outside crypto space, but how can I manage the crypto space and my personal business outside the crypto space? Hello.
Uh, could you please repeat the question? Maybe like paraphrase it in different ways. I didn't fully
All right,
understand
all
it.
right, all right. I actually want to get involved in this crypto space, become a developer, learn a skill, a unique skill that would serve me in the long run as well. And I have a company outside the crypto space. It's just a basic business company outside, a company outside the crypto space. Now my question is, how can I manage my time in learning these new skills of developing my skills in crypto and still manage my business, my company outside the crypto space? How can I manage my time in serving these two places?
Louis, I think this question is like meant for you.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Oh, I
Um,
hope you understood my question.
yeah, perfectly.
Oh, okay,
If
okay,
I'll
thanks.
share a little bit of my background as well, so I can give you an example as best as I can
All right, thank you.
apply to myself, and I hope that it helps.
Thank you very much.
I have a day job where I run two companies.
Okay.
Um, I have my own property management business. I manage a couple of homes where I live
Okay.
for people that use this place as a vacation place.
Okay.
And I have a small business where I bring in cashews and honey
Oh,
from the mainland
nice.
and I resell it here. I live on an island,
All right.
by the way.
Nice.
Um, and I am in work and I am involved with DX.
Okay.
So it's a lot of, and I have two children and one more on the way. So it's a lot of things to balance. The best thing that you can do if you have your own business, like you say, and you want to get into this other one,
Yes.
find someone whom you can delegate things to. Um, and that's gonna free up a little bit of your time in the day, and you can start educating yourself in the crypto world and the spaces you're lacking. Because if you do not find someone to delegate things to,
Yes.
you're just gonna find yourself taken away from the time that you can either spend with your family, eating, sleeping, or from your business.
Yes.
And you have to balance both things because while you start earning in crypto, you still need your income from your business,
Yes,
and you
definitely.
can't allow that income or that revenue stream to go down. Um, you actually want to increase it, right?
Yes.
um, and you want to also increase a revenue stream from crypto so you can double dip.
Yes.
But the only thing is delegating some of the functions from your work to somebody else, and that's going to be a tricky part because delegating things sometimes when they have to handle money is sensitive. So you're going to have to find someone. Hopefully you can have access to a good talent pool. Find someone that you can delegate your job to and free yourself up so that you can educate yourself in crypto. Basically, what you need to do there is create time.
Great time.
Um,
Oh, great
yeah,
time.
basically, because I don't know if you have a family, but you do not want to create time by taking it away from your family.
Yes.
And I have to emphasize that. I truly have to emphasize that. Um, we actually get into crypto to have more time with the family, right?
Yes. Yes, you're right.
So delegate, delegate work, delegate responsibilities, so that you can give yourself time to educate yourself.
All right. All right. Thank for the answer.
Really like the last one, but
All right.
really good.
I just sent you a friend request so as well. We could talk more. Cho.
Yes, man. Good. For sure, we'll talk more.
All right, well, thanks.
Give me a follow, and we'll be in touch.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
That's some solid life advice.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I tried to apply that to myself. I went to a time where had so many things to do, where I literally would be up till 10, 11, and not spend time with my child, not see my partner. So it took me a while to realize that it was not right. So I had to start delegating more things at work. I had to start, for example, really teaching as much of what I know to the managers, so that they can also have more responsibilities. They grow, and at the same time, they can teach their subordinate things, so that it can free them up, so that I can give them work, so that they can free me up, so that I can do other work. So it's a chain that goes on and goes on. The more you delegate others, the more you allow them to grow, and the easier it is for everybody in the end. Um, a good team needs to be multidisciplinary. I'm not sure if that's a word, but that's what I say. Um, in order to function better. Well, I'm done with that segment.
100%. Right, Mohammed, ask a question. Please make a brief intro about yourself as well. Mohammed, make sure to unmute yourself as well. Bottom left, there's a mic button. If you don't have a question, we will remove you from speakers. And we have a Mr. NFT with the next step question. All right, no questions from Mohammed, but Mr. NFT, I think you have another question. Is that so?
Thank you. Thank you very much for allowing me again. I have a very simple question, sir. I want to know what are the basic qualities are the project manager must have to accomplish max number of jobs he can get in field.
Sorry, could you repeat that one again?
My question is here is what are the best qualities must have as a manager of community or mode or admin to get more and more jobs because when I start
Right.
I requested and I have waited 6 months for as a mode job. After that I start getting jobs more and more, and around my 18 hours per day I am spending online in working. But whenever I see and ask from my seniors, they simply say you just did your job, and I am confused right now what I am doing because I am just spending more and more time. I want to understand myself.
Yeah, I think uh, if I'm understanding it correctly, you I think you mentioning your employer also isn't too sure about what he's looking for, right? So maybe you can put yourself in his shoes and try to figure it out how you can grow out the community. At the end of the day, the community moderator position is about growing, maintaining, and creating a vibrant community. So, put that in three columns and then figure out what actions you can do to maintain the current community you have, to grow the current community you have. This could be, maybe proposing a marketing plan. And this could be going out to other channels and speaking about the project. And also, like, maybe at the end of the month, just give like a brief high level report to the project owner of what are the some of the steps you're doing in each of those categories. Maybe that would help.
Sir, I have a three different bosses, and all I get from them is simple and the word of appreciation. What they say, you give most of your time online when we need it. But I sometimes feels I'm giving time and not growing much as a skillful person.
I see. So I think what you so Louis, I'll give it to you once I finish. Just gonna say that maybe as you're doing your current job, you learn additional things, whether that's in graphic design or development, and then try to grow yourself in that way. Maybe you reached a certain level of skill and proficiency in your current role, and now it's just a matter of figuring out who you are, like you said, and the only person who can answer that is really you, and then figuring out what's the next thing you want to do, so learning new things that might not be related to your role could be interesting as well. Louis, I think you had something in your mind.
Yes, but you actually said it. Yes, you said it very well. If
Okay.
you want to, if you reach the peak of the learning curve in what you're doing, you need to yourself take the leap into something else, because it's gonna be difficult for some if your team doesn't need someone in a different position, it's gonna be difficult for you to grow into a new position. Or if your team has an opening but it's not in your skill set, then you also won't be given that chance, right? So the first thing is, if you want to grow into a different skill set, you need to educate yourself in it, and then start with small roles. And sorry about the background noise, my son just woke up.
Yeah.
But start yourself educating yourself into a new role, and you're going to get it. but it takes, you have to take the first step, amigo. Educate yourself, and then you can launch it.
Thank you very much for your advice, sir. I will listen again this session and try to learn what you tried to teach me. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Awesome.
the question.
Thank you for the question. All right. We have Sylvester again. I'm not sure if Sylvester managed to ask the question previous time. I'm super multitasking. I'm trying to fix the Pope claiming thing, so everyone please be patient. But please think of questions. We still have time. Hope that both Hash and Lewis still have energy. How are you guys feeling? Do you still have like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, I would say 10, 15 is good.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, we're
All right.
rocking and rolling.
Yeah, you guys are.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir. We cannot claim pop.
Yeah.
We can't claim.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm aware of this. I'm trying to fix it. The problem is with with Twitter API, they have rate limits. A lot of people are trying to claim it right now, and I'm just like introducing caching and actually deploying it right away. But again, as I mentioned, please try again. I think the fix should be on the way. And again, worst case scenario, there will be next Twitter space where you'll be able to do it. But I'll try to my best after the session to send everyone the link to their email, hopefully. Thanks so much for the patience with this. We're doing our best here. All right, let's do the question from Sylvester.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. That's good. My question is this: when one come into development, maybe either going towards Web3 development, so there's at some point at the early stage you need like internship, or so to say, to advance your training and experience before being a junior developer. So is there room for internships working in Web3 companies? For example, Hash, if you do hire for internship for maybe upcoming web developers.
Sorry, I did not understand that question too well. Did you get that, or Ramin?
I think the question is about internships and internship opportunities in the space.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
I should repeat.
One of the best ways to start, if that's what you're looking for, is to find a project that you like, a crypto project that you're interested in, and you as a volunteer start to actively be part of the community.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to actively get involved in the community, provide suggestions, build that reputation rapport within the community. And the developers and the owners, even the moderators, they know, they see it, so they're watching, even though you may not think they are. So I think when you showcase that, it can go a long way. Yeah, and then eventually you can always ask, hey, what if you hired me for probation, and you don't have to pay me anything, just give me an opportunity. So I don't see why anyone would say no to that after you've kind of established interest in the community by actually answering questions or doing anything like that.
Yeah, my comments would be that, try to find what the company is, what they need help with. And pretty much every single company out there in the crypto space, they need help with engineering, building things, designing things, promoting things, making memes. And you don't even have to ask permission to start helping with those things. You just you see the project, you try your first attempt, right? Like design a meme that is funny, that is relevant to the project, or design 5 or 10 of them and see which of them get the best reactions. So I think that's the benchmark for memes, like which one people actually laugh off and share. That is a quality meme. If a meme gets 1 like, that is not a quality meme. So that's an approach. If you're engineering, make sure to build things and something actually works. And I think with engineering, I think it's the value is much easier to judge, or at least people kind of probably usually self-select, and the barrier of entry is a bit higher. But yeah, just go into the Discord, go at the Twitter, and see what the project is lacking. What can you contribute? How can you deliver your core skill set to the project and help them be a better project, right? And that's how you learn more as you go as well. Hopefully that helps. So, like, for example, I think Hash, like, what are some like low hanging fruits that you guys have, like very specific tasks that, for example, you would love someone to take care of within DX that anyone can just jump on and start contributing without like you approving them upfront? Is there any examples of that?
Yeah, I think you mentioned like a lot of things that you said. Light bulbs in my head came on, like memes, stickers, any way to kind of showcase like funniness. That's part of like I said, maintaining a community, right? Maintaining community. A community doesn't, people would stay longer if there was something fun to talk about all the time. Whether that's recent price action or something happened globally, or anything like that. And just memes is a great way in crypto to do that.
I will like give examples from our own project, from Crypto Jobless, for example, right? So anyway, everyone's welcome to join Discord and maintain a good conversation, quality conversation in Discord, like on topic of the channel that you're talking in. And if you haven't seen people talking there for quite a long time, just start a conversation. Make sure that it's civil and organized and engaging and interesting. That's an example. Or UI design. You see something, if you're in design, there are a lot of people who are designers and listening, see what can be improved on the website and just actually mock it up, drop a screenshot in Discord, you will be noticed. And like if your work is good, the community or like the founders of the project, they will notice you and they will ask you to do more. And eventually they will like start paying you if your work is actually worthwhile and worth it. Okay, that's example. I'm just thinking of what are the other examples of work or categories of work. I think another one would be like content, right? Content writing. If you want to write an article, do that. Make sure it's a quality article. Make sure it's like on point with the project. And that's another way to contribute. Every single project out there, they want better documentation, better articles, news pieces. Again, memes. I think I talked about memes previously. Engineering, I think it's also should be rather clear. Make sure you're a good engineer to begin with, and then you just start contributing to the project. Find the GitHub of that project and start contributing to it. Make a pull request. Is there any categories of work that I didn't touch on? I think with legal it gets a bit much harder. I think what else is there? Strategy level. I think that's more advanced. It's very hard to get a strategy level position through Discord. You need to really stand out or grow into that position.
Yeah, I think you guys covered pretty much everything. Just a way to help could be as simple as answering questions, like you were saying. We have, for example, in DX, a lot of pre-programmed answers in a Rosebot. So community members, a lot of times when a moderator isn't around, a community member will just answer back a question with the note to the help bot, and boop, the person asking will get, a very detailed answer that's already pre-programmed, and that's something anybody can do. You don't need any administrative privileges. So becoming part of a community and expressing interest can be something as simple as that.
Cool. Any more questions? Questions, comments? If we will not get a new hand or a new question within the next few minutes, we'll be wrapping up. Maybe it is time to start wrapping up, so I can finally actually focus on fixing the bulk claiming thing. All right, no more hands. All right, triggered Indian. Good timing, Mr. Ash. Good timing. Okay, last question from Mr. Ash, and we have Ash and Hash now. So, all right, suddenly everyone's joining.
Hey, Robert, sir. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. So, I would like to add another point to your last statement. It's like degens. Degens are a must and should for every community. Like I'm a degen. I'm a CJL degen. Like I literally can't keep my mouth shut. I literally meme. My boss is fed up of me and he can't remove me because I'm so lovable. Right? You have these complicated relationships. Yeah, but
Exactly.
you should be likable to the community first. Like I never asked Raman sir before I started memeing for Crypto Jobs List. I just found out that Crypto Jobs List also likes to trash LinkedIn. So I was like, yeah, this aligns with my goal perfectly. I'm now memeing or working with purpose. Yes. So yeah, so that triggered me. And I was like, oh my God, I found my sole purpose in life. Right. And now every day, left, right, center, I just do it. So now this is my experience of working for Crypto Jobs List, and I just tell this to everybody. Think of that project as your own. Like how would you treat that project if it was your own? And then you can see the magic happening. Yep, that's it, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you all for listening.
just wanted to clarify so no one gets offended that we don't really like to trash LinkedIn, but I guess it's a memeable subject, LinkedIn versus Crypto Jobs List. I approve that message.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I know exactly the type of person you were, and we love those type of folks because Chong is, he's very much like that. He's a guy who has a lot of ideas and he doesn't stop talking. But I love him, so yeah, I can relate.
Thanks so much, Ash. Thanks for staying around always and joining Twitter Spaces and talking about memes. Thank you. A lot of love. Okay, let me give access to. Oh, maybe did that person drop out? I think the person dropped out. Oh no, Donna. Donna, please unmute yourself, introduce yourself quickly, and ask a question. And I think you'll be the last speaker for today, the last person to ask a question today.
Oh, thanks, guys. Hey, listen, I was just wondering, how do you engage more females to get in the community to come up and chat more or talk more?
Is that a question for DX or for this Twitter space overall?
I'd assume it'd be for the Twitter space overall. I'm not 100% sure. Whoever could answer the question would be great.
Sure. Ash, do you want to go first, or shall I comment, or Lewis? Go for it.
Yeah.
I think go for it.
We're very inclusive with everybody. We don't really have a way of specifically reaching out to males or females. Our community as a whole, and we've had partners, for example, third partners who are ladies, who are gentlemen. We have parts of our team members who are ladies. We've worked with female devs as well. So anybody is welcome to use our application or to be part of our community and engage in conversations. We consider our community as a whole, to be honest with you. So I don't think we have specific ways of reaching out to the ladies in the community because they are the community. They are part of the community. I think that's the best answer that I can give you and the most honest answer. Everyone, is the X. The X is everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just add, like at least on behalf of Crypto Jobs, it's like we're super welcoming of everyone, regardless where they're at. regardless of gender. Just come over and engage with us. I think like in the previous Twitter space, I think that was 2 weeks ago, we had a great conversation with a lot of women from NFT space. It seems that NFT space really attracts a lot of females, which is amazing. We had like NFT Gaga and a few, I think Seka, I do not know how to pronounce her Twitter handle. But yeah, we had like an amazing conversation. But yeah, tell us, how can we make this space even more like maybe inclusive or welcoming, or do we need to do more like proactive outreach? I would love to personally hear more voices, as diverse as possible.
Yeah, I think I'm big on inclusivity. Like I mentioned, I try to find people at different time zone and different cultures because, um, the place I grew up has a lot of that. So I grew up with, some Spanish folks, some Caribbean folks, and some Asians. So like I know what it brings to a team when you have across cultural people with different ideas, and I think because of that we hire very inclusively as well, and in a diversified way.
That's great, guys. Thanks for that.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure. Hope we managed to answer that clearly.
Awesome. Yeah, please keep joining our spaces. We'd love to. By the way, are you working in a crypto space, or how do you engage in the industry? Donna?
Yeah, I do. So I'm a social advocate for a Sona platform, but I also work in real life as an educator for adult learning centres, and I teach finance and literacy.
Awesome.
Amazing. We would love to hear your take on it. If you ever want to continue the conversation, you're welcome to chat with us on here on Twitter, or to join our Telegram community. And it's a subject that it'll be amazing. Maybe we have more people in the community who would also join that conversation. So you're welcome to educate us as well anytime you would like.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome.
I'll reach out. Can I get the Telegram group, or is it LinkedIn somewhere?
I think DX is. I mean, I guess you guys DX. Are you on Telegram or on Discord? I'm not sure if you guys are on LinkedIn though.
Both. We have our DX here profile, so you can always follow the links from the DX profile here on Twitter.
Same with us with Crypto Jobs. We have a like link tree in the account, so just you have like a link to our LinkedIn, Discord. We're trying to move away from Telegram, I think, because Telegram gets a bit too messy. Yeah, hope that helps.
Yeah, we're trying to do the same. Or well, rather we're trying to grow into Discord. Yeah.
No, it sounds fantastic. I'll jump on and have a look.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Donna. Right, as promised, I think this is going to be, Donna was our last speaker, person to ask a question. Unfortunately, I will not be able to get questions from the other people who requested the mic access. It's been the entire 2 hours, and DX team being super gracious with their time and giving answers. And I think this space turned out really well. I think we covered a lot of ground with a lot of questions. How do you guys feel? Thanks so much for joining us. Do you have any closing words to say?
Thank you for having us, Raman. And I hope everyone that's joined and listened in. You guys have, you guys are on a new journey, basically. I think crypto is a very interesting space to be in, and I hope that, we've helped you guys in your journey in some way.
Yeah, make sure to go apply to positions at DX. I think they're an exciting team. They know what they're doing, and it sounds like they have some sorted values. I've added their link to their company page in in our Twitter thread here. So yeah. So and hopefully, and again, another thing is we export these sessions into our podcast, which is called Work in Crypto. So go to your favorite app, a podcasting app, and find it and listen to it. We will upload this episode as well when it will become available. It should be like maybe within a few hours or maximum to a day or so. And I'll need to go back to fixing Pope claiming process.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.